Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? So I wanted to touch on this Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder situation and really pose some questions. One major question in regard to this whole thing, man. And, you know, it's been a lot of reports that came out about Tyson Fury and his camp having a Rona outbreak during camp, and the fight is supposedly being postponed. It was initially supposed to take place on July 24th, and they're now talking about possible dates in September due to this Rona outbreak. Now, one question in my mind was like, well, ain't the Rona protocol 14-day protocol? Ain't that about 14 days? Well, around the time that those reports came out, it was well within those 14 days. I think it was like around 3 weeks when all that stuff came out. So I'm thinking like, well, why couldn't they keep that fight date and just carry on? And I don't know if it's been confirmed that Tyson actually has it. I think it's just somebody in his camp. But there's so many different reports out there. I really don't know what's going on. But it does cause me to pose some questions and, you know, become a little bit curious on the situation and the validity of the situation. With Teofimo Lopez, you know, he supposedly caught the Rona as well. His initial fight date was on June 6th. Well, it was June 5th. Then Floyd took over the June 6th date, which pushed him back to Juneteenth. Then he got the Rona. Now they pushed him back. Now keep in mind, they initially pushed him back. It wasn't due to the Rona. It was due to the competition on that date. Well, Jamal Charlo also fought on June 19th. That's another reason to push the fight back, because they wasn't selling no tickets. And they pushed him back to August 14th. Well, now you have Casemiro versus Donero on that fight date. And it's another reason to push it back, because now they're talking about pushing that fight back again, maybe to sometime around September, October. Then there's also been reports coming out that Teofimo Lopez might vacate the IBF belt because it's some beef that he got going on with Triller and some negotiate or contract issues, whatever. So when I hear about these fighters catching a Rona, or, you know, that being one of the keys or reasons why a fight gets canceled or postponed, it just really makes me wonder, especially when you have, you know, people involved that have come from shady backgrounds or have been, you know, involved in shady dealings prior to this, like Tyson Fury. You know, it makes me wonder, because Tyson Fury was supposed to give Vladimir Klitschko a rematch after he beat him for his championship title. And they had the whole face-off and everything leading up to the rematch. Even in the face-off, Tyson Fury said himself that I might just dip off and not fight him and make him suffer that way. I might not even give him a rematch. This is why they're already scheduled to fight the rematch. They doing a face-off, everything. Like, this is the build up and lead up to the rematch. Tyson Fury literally said, I might not even do the rematch. I might just dip off and let him just wonder and suffer and never get his rematch. And that's exactly what Tyson Fury did. He disappeared for 3 years, got stripped of his title, and never defended his title. To this day, Tyson Fury has never had a single title defense as a champion. So now I look at this situation and I think to myself, well, Tyson Fury, they were supposedly trying to make the Anthony Joshua fight, and, you know, everything was leading towards that fight. But lo and behold, under the radar, Deontay Wilder and his legal team was working vigorously in court for the arbitration to get his rematch, or to get the trilogy, because they were contractually bonded to fight in a trilogy. So that fight was supposed to already take place, and Tyson Fury and and Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, they all tried to kind of finesse their way into a fight with Fury and Joshua and kind of leave Deontay Wilder on the back burner. Well, as we all know, Deontay Wilder won his arbitration and the fight was mandated. So here it is. We had a date for July 24th. And I'm wondering if Tyson Fury was just not prepared. You know, if he was out of shape or not prepared for a fight in July, not prepared for a fight versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has been training this whole time, under the radar, focused, in the lab, going crazy, just sharpening up on his skills and getting ready. Extremely focused. And I'm wondering if Tyson Fury and his team realized that, hey, man, we not ready for a July 24th date. We're not ready to take on Deontay Wilder. You know, this is not something that we are prepared to do. And one of the easiest cop-outs is a Rona outbreak. Let's just be real. That's something that you can put out there that nobody really can question because of the state of the world and this whole thing that's been going on for the past year and a half. It's something that nobody really will question. It's something that you can easily get away with. You can easily justify it. You know what I'm saying? And this might give Tyson Fury that extra time that he needs to prepare or to get his mind right. Or he might just dip out and never fight Wilder altogether. You know what I'm saying? He might vacate his title and just, disappear into the deep, dark abyss of depression, drugs, and strippers. You know what I'm saying? And never come back. He might leave for 3 years like he did the first time. You have to ask these questions based off of the history of Tyson Fury, because he did this before. And not only did he do this, he said he was going to do this before he did it, and he actually did that. So was he really even dealing with something at that time, or did he just didn't want to fight Vladimir Klitschko again and give him his rematch and defend his title? I don't know. I'm not saying there's one way or the other. I'm posing a question because this type of situation and the history of Tyson Fury, it only makes me wonder what the fuck is really going on. Is Tyson Fury ducking Deontay Wilder? Is he ducking Deontay Wilder? Was there really a Rona outbreak, or does Tyson Fury just simply not want to defend his title versus Deontay Wilder? Keep in mind, to this day, he has never had a single title defense as a champion. That's very alarming to me. For somebody who's supposed to be, the best heavyweight in the world right now, the top heavyweight, even though Joshua has 3 of the 4 belts. But he's supposed to be the number one guy, but this is a guy who's never defended his title. Every time it came down to a title defense, something happened. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Is Tyson Fury ducking Deontay Wilder, or are y'all actually buying this Rona outbreak story, man? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.